Hi, it's John Doe, aka Frags with the DNB Academy, and welcome to another video. Today we're again on this journey discovering Serum and its new features, and today I decided to just explore a little bit more of the multi-sample section in order for us to create really cool and lo-fi kind of sounding piano and keys. And for that, yeah, we're gonna jump straight right into Serum and I'll show you what I came up with. Alright, so we load in Serum. This is what we got, as you all know it. And the first thing we're gonna do is just go to our wavetable, and into our oscillator A, and instead of wavetable, we're gonna choose multisample, alright? Then here on the multisample, we're gonna go to the factory and choose some of these keys, presets that we got here that sound actually really nice. And this is going to be pretty much the core of this patch, all right? We're going to choose this Electro Piano Suitcase LE. It sounds something like this. All right. We're going to click here on the velocity track and get it to like 70. So we actually have a little bit of a natural feeling when hitting the keys, all right? And the harder we hit, the harder it gets, all right? So that's the first thing you're gonna do. Then we're gonna adjust the timbre, because as you can see, these are kind of like, we wanna maintain the key, kind of organic sound, but also we wanna make it sound a little bit more electric in this sense, okay? Let's increase a little bit of the level, and then we're gonna create one LFO that's gonna be playing in retrigger mode, all right? So it's gonna loop. And we're gonna assign this to the fine tuning here, right? And bring it down over at like 10, 13%. We can hear this little bit of detuning going on, which is great for this type of sound, right? We might just, for instance, try some other ones like the Electric Piano Suitcase. If we play the higher notes, like, it sounds really well. Right, and then we're gonna choose our oscillator B, we're gonna turn it on, and we're gonna go with the classic basic shapes. We're gonna choose our sine wave on our wavetable position, because that's actually what we want. We want that foundation of a sine wave to add a layer to our already existing piano-ish kind of oscillator here on oscillator A. So let's also assign our LFO/envelope, in this case to the fine tuning. And we got to get it down as well. It's the same value, 13% as we did there. Right, so you can already hear this really cool organic feeling to it. Next step would be adding a little bit of noise. And we go with the color ones. I'm gonna choose the pink because he adds that little, you know, almost like electricity. And this is gonna be cool. As soon as we start processing this a little bit, we're gonna leave it like this. And we're gonna go to the envelope one just to make this sound a little bit more natural. We're gonna add a little bit of release, you know, and make the sustain a little bit quieter. You see it's sounding almost like a real instrument, and also taking a bit of the attack. All right, so we don't have that, you know, excessive click going on here, okay? So that's great. Moving on, we need to process this a little bit further before going back to the patch and doing some final tweaks. Now let's take advantage of, for instance, one of the coolest things they added here, which is the splitter. So we can pretty much split this in lows and highs, which in this case is not gonna really be lows and highs, all right? We're gonna pretty much split it in half. I would say something below the 700 hertz and something above. Okay, so the lows are going to be above here. And the reason why I did this is because I really want to add a different kind of warmth, and a different kind of processing overall in these two stages. So first we're going to add just a tiny bit of distortion, and we're going to go with the overdrive here. Going to be gentle. See, we're creating these really cool harmonics. Especially when you play higher notes, it sounds even better, but let's just even a little bit more gentle. Cool. It's awesome. And now we also gonna apply just a tiny bit of now we're gonna add a little bit of chorus also to the lower part of the sound. Right, can you see it? Like, awesome. So the main reason why I did this is because now I'm gonna go to the highs, which is pretty much like most of the, you know, higher mids and highs as well. And I'm gonna crank this a little bit further with some convolve, all right? So we're gonna go to our high section here, and convolve is already here. And we're gonna choose something massive within the massive folder because we want something big actually. So we're gonna start by this first one. You see there's like a big tail. That is great, especially with the next step. Okay, so if you really want to get creative already at this part that we have cool sound, we can take advantage of this new feature as well. So we can pretty much choose the key that we want to play. For instance, let's go with the F sharp. Then you choose the scale. We can go with A sharp minor, for instance. F sharp minor. We leave the swing like this, and what this will do, we're just pretty much going to block all the notes that are not within this set scale, right? So that's cool for you to jam in case you don't want to be thinking too much, or in case your musical skills are not most advanced. You can still create like really good ideas with this, with the help of this. You know, we can just start playing like lower notes to add a foundation to a chord progression or a note progression. Let's go like a lower octave, and then you jam on top. You know what I mean? That's pretty interesting. So that's kind of the goal of this sound at the end of the day. But to wrap up the patch, we're gonna go to our effects and we're gonna add a little bit of a compression, all right, outside of the splitter. So you can see everything that we're gonna be doing with this compressor is gonna affect everything we've done previously. So that's like we wanna pick up those little, those big tails from the convolution, for instance. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set this to multi-band so we get this into the more OTT side of things. And let's like get our tops and mids out there. A little bit of the lows too. Increase the gain. Right, so this is it. It's a pretty interesting piano sound, sort of like lo-fi sound that has a little bit of the digital side of things and also a little bit of the acoustic. So let's just play a couple of notes on top of a break to see how it sounds like. So as you can see, we can already create like a really good sort of cold RTK kind of, you know, flavor to our song with simple patch that Serum 2 now allows us to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!